All right, so if you're on that MBA path, you know it's just full of these huge decisions, right? And maybe the biggest one is picking the right entrance exam. Well, today, we are going to decode one of the most interesting, most unique options on the table, the XAT. So let's just ask the big question right up front. Is the XAT, your path to a top MBA? Is this the right move for you? Does the way it works actually play to your strengths? By the time we're done here, you're going to have a much, much clearer idea. So let's dive in and figure out what makes this test tick.
Okay, so what really makes XAT different? What's its whole deal? Well, it's not just another test where you're racing the clock. Nope, it's built on something deeper. It's trying to find future leaders, not just, human calculators.
And this quote, this pretty much says it all. The XAT isn't just a test of aptitude. It's a test of attitude. Think about that. It's not about what you know, it's about how you think. It's designed to really check out your judgment, your ethics. Basically, are you ready to be a leader? And that entire idea leads straight to its most famous, or maybe infamous, section. So, let's talk about the decision-making section, or DM. This is XAT's secret weapon, really. It's what makes it totally unique. You're going to get hit with these real-world business problems. Tricky situations with ethics, with management, like should we lay people off, or what do you do if you discover your company is doing something wrong? There's no right formula to solve these. The whole point is to see how you handle pressure and make a judgment call.
Okay, so we get the philosophy. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. What does the exam actually look like? This is the gauntlet you've got to run, and trust me, knowing the rules is half the battle.
So here's the breakdown at a glance. We're looking at a single computer test, 180 minutes long, with around 95 questions. The sections are probably what you'd expect: verbal, decision-making, quant, and some general knowledge. But see that 180-minute block? Tucked away in there is a huge advantage that basically changes everything about how you take this test.
And here it is. This is the absolute game changer. No sectional time limits. I'm going to say that again. No sectional time limits. You know how other exams lock you into these rigid time boxes for each section? Well, XAT doesn't do that. You get the full 3 hours to use however you see fit. And look, this isn't just a nice little bonus. It is a massive strategic advantage. It means you can actually play to your strengths, spend a little extra time where you need it, and build a flow that works for you, not for some arbitrary clock.
And if you're already thinking ahead to 2026, here's your roadmap. Registration typically kicks off in July 2025, and you've got until early December to sign up. And then, the big day, Sunday, January 4th, 2026. Having this timeline is so important. You can literally work backwards from that date and plan out your entire prep, making sure you're at your absolute best when it counts.
Okay, so this brings us to the big one, the classic showdown for MBA aspirants, XAT versus CAT. These are the two heavyweights, right? And figuring out how they're different is absolutely key to knowing which one is the right fight for you.
So let's put them side by side. CAT is all about speed. You're locked into those sectional time limits. XAT, like we just said, gives you all that flexibility. Then you've got the content. XAT has that unique decision-making section and general knowledge. CAT doesn't. Even the verbal parts are different. XAT's passages can be longer, a bit more philosophical, and they throw 5 answer options at you, which makes guessing way harder. So what's the bottom line? CAT is a sprint. XAT is a marathon that tests your endurance and your judgment just as much as your smarts.
All right, so you run the gauntlet, you conquer the exam. What's it all for? What's the big prize? Well, the XAT is your key. It's what unlocks the doors to some of the absolute best B schools in the country. And there's one name that really stands out.
And that name, of course, is XLRI. To even get a call for an interview for their top programs, these are the kinds of numbers you're looking at. And yeah, that bar is set pretty high. We're talking north of the 90th percentile a lot of the time. Those are tough numbers for sure, but they make it crystal clear what you're aiming for. It gives you a real concrete target.
But wait, it's not just about XLRI. And this is super important. A good XAT score opens the door to over 1,000. That's right, 1,000 other B schools across the country. So what does that mean for you? It means the XAT isn't just this one big high-stakes shot at a single school. No, It's a powerful key that gives you a ton of options at other fantastic places like XIMB, IMT Ghaziabad, the list goes on. It gives you choices.
So, feeling ready to take this on? Awesome. Let's turn that feeling into a real plan. Because doing well on the XAT isn't just about studying hard, it's about studying smart. So here's a game plan to get you started.
Here we go, a simple 5-step plan to get you to an 85+ percentile score. Step 1. Really understand the exam pattern. That flexibility is your superpower. Learn how to use it. Step 2. Build a rock-solid foundation in quant and verbal. You just can't skip the basics. Step 3. Put a special focus on decision-making. The way this section works is weird. The only way to get good at it is to do a ton of past papers. Step 4. Make GK a daily habit, not a last-minute cram session. And finally, Step 5, and this might be the most important one, mocks. Take as many mock tests as you can. Seriously, XAT is a 3-hour marathon. Building up your stamina and figuring out your timing strategy is just as crucial as knowing the material. And to get you going, here's a little prep toolkit. For that tricky decision-making section, your best bet is to grab the last 5 years of actual XAT papers. Nothing else comes close. For the verbal section, which can be tough, start reading editorials from places like The Economist or Aon. And for GK, find a good monthly current affairs summary and make it your best friend. These aren't just random suggestions. They are laser-focused on what the XAT actually tests. And that really brings us back to where we started, to the one big question at the very heart of the XAT. You know, this isn't a test for just anybody. It's designed for a specific kind of thinker. So, as you map out your whole MBA journey, you've got to ask yourself this one thing. Are you ready to prove not just how fast you can think, but how well you can judge?